We are going to talk about the light meter and some basic measuring principle. Before we start, I assume that you are all understand about the exposure triangle. If you don't, I would like you to figure it out because when I talk about it, it should come over your head.
How to measure the light is based on two things. The first one is intensity of the light, how bright, how dark, and it's based on the distance relative to the subject.
In this case, the light source is around 5 feet away from me.
So we measure the light intensity by using stop. A stop of light is relative doubling or halving of the intensity of light.
And when we are talking about the stop, it's a very relative measurement, meaning it has to be compared to another light source.
For example, this light is 3 stops. It doesn't make sense, it's meaningless. On the other hand, lighting A is 3 stops brighter than lighting B. It makes sense. Let's see if I increase the light one more stop from 10%, it's gonna be 20%. If I want to increase one more stop from 20%, it's gonna be 40% because we are doubling it. The difference we have to increase each time to get greater and greater. If we are talking about the speed light, it's constantly going in double or half, which is full 1 by 1, half 1 2, quarter 1 4, 1 8, 1 16.
Each time that I decrease one of those full stop is going down 50% of the previous light.
So why do we use f-stop scale to measure the light? So the shutter speed, ISO and aperture are all measurement of stop of light. But we do not use a speed shutter because in terms of shooting video, if we change the shutter speed, it's going to impact the motion blur. So we have to keep it remain. For the ISO, it can get noise on image.
So why do we have to measure the light? The camera has ISO, shutter speed, and aperture to control the light that come into the sensor to get a normal exposure. If the value of light is too much, the image is going to be overexposure. If the value of light is come into little, the image is going to be underexposure. So we have to know the value of light in what we are going to shoot. Then we can modify the exposure, which is shutter speed, ISO, and aperture to get a suitable light. So let's talk about how to use light meter. So today I use the light meter application. It's very easy to download. So there are so many free light meter applications. You can download and learn how to use it. In this room, it's quite dark. I set the ISO at 1600 and then I set the shutter speed around 150 because I need to keep the motion blur. And let's see how many value of light that I get. So the light meter calculate around f5. So I have to set the f-stop in the camera at f5 as well.
First of all, set the shutter speed and ISO in the light meter as same as the camera. Turn the white surface to the light. Click the button. Then the light meter will tell you what aperture you should go for. This type of light measurement is an incident metering system. However, the camera has a reflective light meter built into it. It can tell you the amount of light is reflecting out of the subject. The problem is camera always trying to export for a mid-tone gray. If your subject or whatever is reflecting light is either darker or brighter, the light meter in camera is going to give you an inaccurate reading because the camera assumes more reflected light due to the bright subject, and the camera assumes less reflected light due to the dark subject. So the result is bright subject will be darker than reality, and dark subject is going to be brighter than reality as well.
So the light meter is one of the important tools to measure the light for capturing image.